You're listening to Calm Living Blueprint Revisited, Reflections from the Path with Dr. Candice Esposito.
Your mind is like a time machine.
When I said that more than 10 years ago, I was trying to describe something very simple and very human. The way the mind pulls us out of life, backward into memory, forward into worry, until we forget where we actually are. Today, I'd say it this way. The mind leaves the present because the present is alive. And aliveness can feel unsafe when we've learned to protect ourselves through thinking. In the original episode, I shared a personal story about returning to Ottawa, a place my nervous system had linked with a painful period of social anxiety.
The sight of those buildings, seeing people walking along the Rideau Canal, it brought back a flood of memories. And, they're not good memories.
What I was describing back then wasn't weakness. It was conditioning. The body remembers, the nervous system associates, and the mind tries to protect us by replaying the past. But something important happened on that trip.
On the cab ride from the airport, I consciously chose to make new memories, new associations. I thanked my mind for the memories, for the story it was trying to rehash, and then I turned my focus back to the present moment.
That simple act, thanking the mind and returning to now, was already the path, even though I didn't yet call it that.
As a result, we spend a lot of time in the past reliving old hurts, failures, rejections, and mistakes, or a lot of time in the future worrying about everything that could go wrong.
I think this is still one of the clearest truths about anxiety. Anxiety can't live in the present moment. It requires imagination. It requires projection.
Anxiety is fear or worry about a future scenario. By its very definition, it excludes mindfulness.
What I understand more deeply now is this. Presence isn't something you do to anxiety. Presence is what happens when anxiety no longer has fuel. Back then, I used this tennis metaphor.
Well, imagine you're playing tennis, and instead of keeping your attention on the ball, you focus on all the thoughts inside your head. Am I holding the racket correctly? Are my feet in the best position? Geez, that ball is coming at me fast. If your focus is on your thoughts rather than the ball, how well do you think you'd play?
And I think that metaphor still holds. Today, I'd add something more subtle. That it's not about forcing your attention on the ball. It's about being so engaged, the thought naturally falls away. Presence is not control. It's absorption.
If you want to enjoy the experience, you need to be engaged in what you're doing.
This is why confident people appear confident, not because they feel a certain way, but because they are with what they're doing.
I think the biggest contributing factor to this was the fact that I allowed myself to get caught up in my thoughts. Thoughts like, I've got nothing to say, I'm so boring, I hope this person likes me, instead of paying attention to the person I was talking with.
Now I see something deeper. The moment attention leaves the body and enters the mind, anxiety enters too. The moment attention returns to sensation, to sound, to movement, to relationship, anxiety loosens its grip. Presence isn't mental, it's embodied.
Learning how to be here now, how to be present, is basically the same as learning to ride a bike, or play the piano, or to bake a cake. It may seem hard at the beginning, but it gets easier with practice.
That's still true. And like any skill, presence strengthens through repetition, not perfection. The body learns safety through experience, not explanation.
Pay attention with openness, curiosity, and flexibility.
Right now, notice sound, not labels, just vibration. Notice your body, where it contacts the chair, the floor, the ground. Notice sight, color, shape, shadow. Now let all of that exist together. You're not doing presence. You're allowing yourself to be where you already are. This is not mindfulness as effort. This is awareness resting in itself.
You can turn any part of your morning routine into a mindfulness session.
Making tea, brushing your teeth, walking to the car. Not to become calm, to come back into life.
See if you can discover something new, something you previously took for granted.
That curiosity is love in motion.
It's humanly impossible to be anxious and present in the moment at the same time. You can't do it.
Now I'd add, presence doesn't erase fear. It reorganizes it. Fear becomes sensation. Sensation becomes movement. Movement becomes aliveness. And aliveness no longer needs to be feared.
There's only one time that is important. Now.
I knew it then. I lived it before I could name it. This teaching was never about anxiety. Not really. It was about reclaiming life from the mind stories. In the next episode, we'll continue this thread, exploring how presence deepens when it moves from attention into embodiment. I am Dr. Candice Esposito, and this is Calm Living Blueprint Revisited.